Hello everyone, and thank you for inviting me here today. I found this morning very interesting, and I hope that my presentation will be of some interest too. As Bob said, my name's Paul. I work for a company called Relentless Software, and I've called this talk more than just asking questions. Over the course of the next 30 or so minutes, I'm going to be looking at the development of a quiz game, and in particular, lessons that we learned from this process. But I want to make it really clear at this stage, I'm not a salesman, I don't work in public relations, I'm just a gamer who also happens to design computer games. I'm not trying to sell you anything here, it's just over the last 5 years I've learned quite a bit, and I hope it will be of interest to you today. So just to begin, a brief bit of background on myself. As I said, I work for a company called Relentless Software. There we are. We're based on the south coast of England, in a town called Brighton, which is at the tip of that red arrow there. Sorry. I've had a really bad cough for the last few days, as you've probably already heard. So yeah, we make video games. There's about 70 of us working at Relentless Software. We've got artists, programmers, designers, sound people, producers, admin. And we make the game from the initial concept right the way through to what you play when you plug it into your PlayStation. We've worked on a variety of games, but the ones that we're most famous for are these ones, the Buzz series of games on the Sony PlayStation consoles. Now, I know some of you are already familiar with these, but for those of you who aren't, they're really simple games. What you do is, much like the game we saw earlier, they're trivia games. You get asked a series of questions, and you have to select from multiple choice answers. What's a bit special about our ones is when you buy a game, you get 4 of these in the box. These are little buzzers with which to play the game. These 3 games in particular were the ones that I was the lead designer on. We've got over here, we've got the music quiz. This was the first game in the series, and as the name suggests, it was about music questions. You'd get a song clip, and you'd have to say who it was by, or what it was called, or what year it came out. And because it was the first one in the series, it's the one that I'm going to be talking most about today, because we learnt a lot of our stuff back at the beginning. We've got Buzz the Big Quiz there. That was the second one in the series. Very much like the first one, but this time it was general knowledge. We asked questions about sport, history, geography, all that sort of stuff. Excuse me. And most recently, I finished work on this one earlier this year. It's Buzz Quiz TV, which is the first one on the PlayStation 3. This was great for us because not only could we massively improve the graphics and the sound, but we could also do things we can't do on the PlayStation 2. The PlayStation 3, it's online, so you can play games against people all around the world. And my own personal favourite feature is a thing called MyBuzz. And what MyBuzz is anyone in the world, whether you own a PlayStation or not, can go to mybuzz.com and you can write a quiz. You can write a quiz on anything you want, about your favourite group, about what you did at your friend's party last week, and you can write these questions and then share them with everyone else. And anyone in the world can play your quiz, tell you what they think of it, and that's it really. And that's great because as we've seen from sites like Facebook and MySpace and Wikipedia, community interaction is the way forward. The internet now is not about companies making content and users looking at it. It's about users making the content for themselves. So I think that's really important, and I'm glad we're moving in that direction. Okay, so that's what Buzz is. I've got, just for you, those of you who haven't seen it, I've got a little video here. It's a montage of the most recent game, Quiz TV.
Buzz Quiz TV! Come on, pass the bomb! Nice!
It's time to get messy.
Take this! What? Pie! side! No
The
way!
time has come to fasten your seatbelts. Who will be the last one to remain at the end of the final countdown?
Eliminated!
Okay, so that's what Buzz is. And as I said, today I'm going to be talking about what lessons we've learnt whilst making those games. So probably the best way to go about this is if we start at the beginning of the development process. Before Buzz, we worked on this game. It was called DJ Decks and Effects. And as the picture probably suggests, what you did is you bought the game, you got some virtual record playing decks, you got a sampler, various effects units, and 70 songs. And basically it was people to learn how to become DJs. And it got fairly good reviews. Sony were really happy with the work we'd done on it, but it was a complete and utter commercial flop. I think the problem is that unless we were appealing to a really small market. The people we were appealing to were people who wanted to be DJs, but didn't have DJ decks, and liked a really, really particular narrow brand of late 90s Ibiza cheesy house music. And so it completely flopped, but Sony were happy with us and they wanted to work with us again. And so they came back to us and they said, look guys, we've had an idea. We want you to make us a music trivia game. And this was the idea they'd had. I've got a picture of Trivial Pursuit there, because they envisaged it as it was a board. It was a little board, and you moved around it, and depending on what space you landed on, you either answered a question on rap music, or rock music, or pop music. And that was the game they wanted us to make. And we went back to them and we said, no way. Board games on computers suck. They're useless. No one wants to play a board game on a computer. The whole fun of a board game is you've got a physical board in front of you and pieces that you move around. And that's fun. It's something you interact with, and it's a fun thing to do. As soon as you take that away and you get a control pad, that's no fun. So we said, no, if we're going to do this, we're going to make something that you can only make on a console. And so we racked our brains and we thought about it, and we thought, well, what about Saturday night TV? Everyone watches Saturday night TV. Everyone knows what a game show is. That's far more fun, surely. And it's something that we could do on a console that you can't do on a board. And so we were really happy with ourselves and said, yes, this is the game we're going to make. But unfortunately it wasn't. Because, the problem is, trivia games they're just not much fun, are they? I mean, no one likes making trivia games. Trivia games are games that people who don't get to make real games make. At least that's the way that the development community has often thought about it. It's looked down upon. People who make Warcraft and Halo and stuff, they look at you making your little trivia game, and they're like, yeah, you don't make games. But we didn't really want to do it. But we thought, we've got to do it. We needed the work, to be honest. And so we thought, well, if we're going to do it, we're going to make it cool. Let's do our best to make a cool trivia game. And at the time, a lot of us were playing this game. I don't know if you recognise it, and maybe some of you do. It's a Japanese game called Katamari Damacy, which I believe means the spirit of clumping. And I'm not even going to try to explain how this game works. It's one of these really weird, abstract, strange Japanese games. But as you can see from the pictures, it's a bit cool. I mean, it is for a gamer anyway. It's a bit Monty Python, it's a bit retro, future, abstract, strange, weird. And this was cool.